Welcome to SH English Documentary. Okay, let's just dive right in. Imagine a sprawling, bustling city existing 4,000 years ago, where houses actually had indoor bathrooms. Seriously. Picture perfectly straight, meticulously planned streets and drainage systems that were entirely covered. The people of this civilization mapped out urban centers with a level of precision that, honestly, we still struggle to achieve in a lot of modern cities today. It's an absolute paradox of ancient history. We're talking, of course, about the Indus Valley Civilization, mostly known to us through its great cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. But here is the ultimate suspenseful question, the one that makes this whole topic so incredibly fascinating. Where did they go? I mean, how does a society with such breathtakingly advanced technology and infrastructure just vanish? Were they wiped out by some sudden violent invasion? Did a massive apocalyptic flood just wash them away? Or was it something much slower, like shifting environmental changes that slowly strangled their way of life? To even begin to understand this mystery, we've got to look at when they existed. These majestic cities really began to rise around 2600 BCE. To put that into perspective, they were thriving right alongside the builders of the great Egyptian pyramids. They hit their peak, but then right around 1900 BCE, a really mysterious decline began. And the truly wild part of all this, their massive ruins just lay there, buried and completely forgotten, until they were finally unearthed by British and Indian archaeologists in the 1920s. Those discoveries in the 1920s did nothing short of completely rewrite world history. In 1921, an archaeologist named Daya Sani started excavating a site called Harappa. Just a year later, in 1922, Rakhaldas Bandyopadhyay discovered Mohenjo-Daro in the Sindh region. Up until that very moment, the world firmly believed that Egypt and Mesopotamia were the absolute, unchallenged pinnacles of early human civilization. But these discoveries, they proved the Indian subcontinent housed a Bronze Age society that easily rivaled them. It was a massive, game-changing turning point in historical science. So you might be wondering, just how big was this civilization? Well, it wasn't just two isolated cities, far from it. Over 1,000 distinct archaeological sites have been discovered so far. 1,000! The sheer scale of this Bronze Age marvel is just mind-boggling. This was a sprawling, highly interconnected urban empire, quietly sitting right beneath the earth for millennia. And the territory they covered was incredibly vast. The ruins stretch way across modern-day borders, spanning the Sindh and Punjab regions of Pakistan, all the way through to Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana, and western Uttar Pradesh in modern-day India. We are literally looking at one of the largest urban civilizations of the entire ancient world. Which brings us to their most famous city, Mohenjo-Daro. In the Sindhi language, this roughly translates to Mound of the Dead Men. It's kind of an eerie, haunting name, right? But it perfectly captures the mystery of these silent ruins. When archaeologists first started digging here, they quickly realized this was no basic ancient settlement. The dead men buried beneath this mound had been absolute masters of engineering. And their engineering mastery, it was highly standardized. Across all those vast territories and hundreds of miles, archaeologists found baked bricks. And we're not just talking about similar bricks, we're talking about bricks with the exact same perfect proportions. This tells us something absolutely crucial. They had a highly centralized system of measurement and architectural rules. You simply don't get uniformly baked bricks across an entire empire without a highly organized governing structure, making sure everyone follows the exact same building codes. Perhaps the most stunning example of this standardized planning is the Great Bath of Mohenjo-Daro. It's this massive rectangular brick structure, complete with stairs leading right down into it. But the real wonder here, it was entirely waterproofed using natural tar. Researchers believe this marvel of ancient engineering was likely used for religious or social purification rituals. Though, honestly, its exact specific purpose remains just another piece of this giant puzzle. But the public works were just the beginning. The everyday urban infrastructure was completely mind-blowing. Their streets didn't just wind around randomly. They crossed at perfect right angles, forming a modern grid system. Houses actually had their own private wells. And those covered drains we mentioned earlier, they actually featured maintenance manholes so workers could get in and clear blockages. Think about that. This wasn't accidental. This was deeply intentional, highly advanced urban planning 4,000 years ago. So how did they survive and thrive? Well, the backbone of their economy really relied on farming and trade. They were expert farmers, cultivating wheat and barley and rearing cattle. But they were also master merchants. At sites like Lothal in Gujarat, there's heavy evidence of maritime trade. Ancient Mesopotamian texts actually mention trading with a rich land called Meluha. Now, it's really crucial to note here that while many historians believe Meluha was the Indus Valley, right now that remains a very strong hypothesis, not a proven fact. Through all that trade, they left behind thousands of beautifully carved tiny stone seals. These artifacts are incredibly intricate. They depict a whole variety of animals: majestic bulls, rhinos, elephants, and tigers. But right above these animals is something that continues to absolutely frustrate and fascinate historians all around the globe: their writing. Before we get into the writing itself, let's look at one of the most heavily debated seals ever found. Some call it the Pashupati seal. It shows this horned figure seated in a lotus posture, totally surrounded by animals. Many people have speculated this might be an early depiction of the Hindu god Shiva, who is also known as Pashupati, the lord of animals. But again, keeping strictly to the scientific truth here, this connection is just an archaeological theory. It's a super compelling interpretation, sure, but it is not an absolute certainty. Which brings us to the ultimate documentary suspense. Despite the massive cities, the perfect bricks, and thousands of carved seals, what do they actually call themselves? We don't know the names of their kings, we don't know the names of their cities, we basically can't hear their voices because despite having thousands of examples of their script, we cannot read a single word of it. It is entirely 100% undeciphered. To understand why they remain so silent, we really have to look at how we normally crack ancient languages. Egyptian hieroglyphs, for example, were finally translated thanks to the Rosetta Stone, a bilingual inscribed stone featuring the exact same text in known and unknown languages. But for the Indus Valley script, we have never found our Rosetta Stone. Without a bilingual text to help us break the code, their language remains totally locked away. Now, let's address the greatest twist in this whole story: their downfall. For a really long time, the old myth was that a sudden, violent Aryan invasion swept in and massacred the population. But modern archaeology just doesn't support that simple, violent narrative anymore. The scientific truth, based on decades of really rigorous research, points to a much more complex enemy: severe climate change, shifting monsoons, and rivers that literally change their courses, leaving these great cities bone dry. Part of the reason that old massacre myth even existed was because early excavators found clusters of human skeletons in Mohenjo-Daro. But modern scientific dating actually solves this mystery. It turns out those skeletons were from entirely different time periods. They weren't the victims of a single great war or some sudden invasion at all. It's a beautiful example of why we have to constantly update history as new evidence emerges. So the crucial point you need to take away is this: it wasn't a sudden vanishing act. It was a gradual transformation. Over hundreds of years, shifting monsoons and long-term droughts made it completely impossible to sustain those massive urban populations. The rivers dried up, and the people were literally forced to abandon these incredible, sprawling cities. They slowly dispersed into smaller regional farming villages. They didn't just disappear, they adapted and they transformed. When we step back, this lost civilization leaves us with 3 really profound lessons. Number 1, advanced technology isn't just about weapons or digital screens. Brilliant urban planning and sanitation is a monumental technological leap. Number 2, no matter how great or powerful an empire is, climate change and nature can challenge and humble it. And number 3, some of the most vital chapters of human history are still out there, just waiting to be read. Just think about it. The people of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro proved that the Indian subcontinent was an extraordinary center of the ancient world. But their greatest mystery isn't how they fell, it's what they have to say. What are we going to learn about their politics, their religion, and their true names if we finally break the code of their silent script? One day, that silence may finally break, and when it does, the history books will have to be completely rewritten all over again. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you'd like to stay connected with us and be the first to watch our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell.